Let's go look at your art, will we?
Thank you.
Okay. I've looked at all your pieces. Obviously, some of them are highly sexualized. Why do you think you explore the theme of sex? Like, what is it to you that you need to do that?
I think more you take the sexual explicit thing out of the TV and press, people will have more curiosity to
understand it.
To understand
and accept it.
Never go see like a normal thing. Like, it's a human body. It's just simple. It's a human body. Everybody
has one.
Has one.
Different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
So you're bringing sexuality out into the open so people can accept it as something normal.
Yeah, it's like...
But to look at your art, people would think the opposite. People would think that you're being controversial and sexual to be controversial, but you're not, are you?
It's like the Indian people in Brazil. They live naked. If you gave the guys a magazine with a naked man and a naked girl, they throw out because everybody's naked, don't see any difference to have a naked magazine there.
They don't.
But if you show the guys a magazine with the people with the clothes, they think it's a really...
sexual.
Interesting thing to see it.
That's so interesting. What does the erection signify in all your pieces?
I think it's a normal thing. It's like you drink water, you get erection too, and I think it's normal.
And the hair? When they commission work from you, they send you hair. Like, this is hair here. This is all hair, right? What does the hair signify?
I think that the hair is a really important thing on the sculptures because, first, when I use my hair on the sculpture, have my DNA there. It's just mine. Nobody can fake any of my sculptures. And with the models, the same thing, because when they send me the hair, is a really private thing and personal. Yeah.
What's the influence of the sculpture?
My sculptures to always then be a naked. I was always showing punk guys and rock stars and urban culture and street culture on my sculptures too, because when I was working with the guys who make sex for money, they come from the street.
Prostitutes.
And it's all are the connection from the street art, naked men and gay art together.
You've never done women, have you? You're interested only in the male form in terms of sculpture?
Yeah, most of our male men, because my life, I like to make portraits of my boyfriends, and the people I meet for one night, and I end up make a portrait. I never be with a woman before, and I never had sex with girls, and this is the reason I don't have any sculptures in this way too. But sometimes I make some portraits, some girls I like my friends, and I make some portrait, but not really sexual thing. It's more of face.
Why is the painting different from the sculptures?
I don't see that too different because most of the faces there are some of my models who was sculpted before, and my friends, and the paintings are more influenced by street art and graffiti.
You've had a lot of success with your paintings and your sculptures. I mean, they're becoming quite famous. How does it feel to be acknowledged, to have so many amazing exhibitions of your work and to be acknowledged by society, by artistic people? How does that make you feel?
I like it in some ways. I think everybody would be proud to have art shows and stuff everywhere. With all the problems we have to get to put the work out too, because they're really explicit things and really explicit sexual artworks, and I still working in the same way, and I think this is great.
And it's a reflection of your spirit, isn't it, this work?
Yes, this is the reason I have some works influenced by my spiritual beliefs, and I put that together. Like I make a Jesus portrait. I think Jesus was the first hippie and punk on the streets back then.
A revolutionary thinker.
Yeah, and always I was working with people from the street too, and I think Jesus was some of the first ones who was living with the prostitutes and everybody on the street, and I think he fits perfect in my collection.
Your work, because of its nature, it touches everyone in a different, very profound way. Some people are very upset by it, some people are very excited by it. So you're making all these different people feel all these different emotions through your art. Is that what your goal is?
When I start working, I never was thinking about that in that way, but is almost happened. A lot of people like it, a lot of people hate, and all kinds of feeling about my works. I don't have one specific public to like. A lot of people ask me, who likes your sculptures? And always I tell, gay people, straight people, cops, homeless, people from society, fashion people, everybody. Like I don't have a specific public. My public is not only gay people. I have a lot of straight people who like the sculptures because they are really well done.
Do you find your art is evolving, Fernando? Do you find it's changing and growing?
Yes, I think this is the way to be. It's always growing the artworks, not to be stuck in only one thing forever.
It grows as you grow.
Yeah, the same thing I was doing when I was with 13 years old, and now with 45. It's totally different. And I'm sure when I be with 80 something, it don't be the same thing I'm doing now. I think all the experience you have in your life, in my case, I put in my works, and whatever, if the curators like or the art world like or not, I prefer, and I always still working in my way.
So art is basically a reflection of your spiritual life and your life.
Yes, of course.
LGBT, lesbian, gay, transgendered, bi. How do you define yourself? Do you define yourself as gay?
Yes, I was born gay. I don't believe people decide to be gay. I think people was born gay.
What does that mean to you?
I see my gay life like a normal person, like everybody else. The only difference is because I like men, and I think this is normal for me. I never saw anything weird or strange about that. And I think people need to see gay people as normal like everybody else.
Are you happy as a gay man?
Sorry?
Are you happy to be gay?
Yes, I'm really happy, and I never had problem about that.
You were never bullied when you were a child?
Yes, because when I was a child, I was different of my friends.
How were you different?
I was looking like more a girl than a boy. And all that experience when I was really young changed my mind completely when I was a teenager, and I started to be
more
masculine, and the punk movement, and I got the mohawk and stuff, and I changed
so
to a
people would be scared of you?
To be scared of me.
So people wouldn't mess with you?
Yes.
But you were bullied as an adult too?
Yes, because my explicit works in Brazil. In Brazil, have skinheads. The skinheads don't like gay people. I was having this. I decided to have a show out of the art galleries, and I got a bar. I was always involved with punk movement, and when you're involved with punk movement, you end up mixed with skinheads and neo-Nazis and stuff. In Brazil, we have a lot. And they saw my paintings in this bar, because this bar was a kind of a rock and roll thing, and the punks was going there too, and my paintings was there. And these guys was totally against my paintings.
Because you were gay?
Yeah, and back then I started to have problem with skinheads. After that art show, I never had peace in my life anymore, because they found out I was gay in the city, and they was following me everywhere, and I got punched on the street twice.
So where did they hurt you? How did they hurt you?
And I was in a party, but was to be a gay party, and some of these guys was there with a drag queen, and I don't know what's happened, because I was dancing, and I just feel a punch on my back, and when I put my hand there,
there was blood.
No, I pushed the knife out of my body. Everybody was run when they saw it, because nobody wanted to be involved with skinheads, and
they stabbed you because you were gay.
They found a way to be in that gay party, and
so you were bullied as a kid, and now you're bullied as an adult because of your sexuality and your work.
In my works.
How did it make you feel, Fernando, that someone hated you so much for your sexuality and your art, they would try to murder you for it?
In some ways, I think it was weird in the beginning when I got stabbed, but after I started to think my work was working in a really powerful way to go to inside the people's mind, to make somebody be totally against you and want to kill you.
Are you willing to die for your art?
Yes, this is...
yes, you are, aren't you?
Yeah, this is... I don't have any problem about that. If it needs, I'm ready to die anytime.
Amazing. Does it still hurt you now that you were bullied? Does it still affect your self-confidence, your self-esteem?
Yeah, sometimes I think this is still is not a big problem anymore. But I think sometimes something come out.
Triggers.
Yes.
And you feel like you're 11 again, and everyone's calling you a sissy, and
yeah, sometimes this come out.
How do you think gay people treat one another? Do you think we treat one another in a nice way?
Not really. I think most of gay people sometimes is to fake in some ways. I think sometimes this is not nice. I think
it's all about how you look, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, I think it's not everybody who needs to be fabulous. I think some people don't give a fuck if they are fabulous or not, they are just gay. And I think if you love each other in the gay community, you need to love everybody else, and don't be fake and tell shit about the gay people to other gay people. I think everybody needs to be friendly, because we already have too much problem in the society. We don't need to have problem between us in the gay community.
It's a cold world, isn't it? It's cold.
Yeah, I think it's a little cold sometimes, and I think it's not a good way to be, because...
You read an ad online about someone looking to meet someone for sex, and it says no femmes, no fats, no chubs, no...
Oh yeah, this is a normal way. I think it's wrong, but it's a normal way in the gay community. And I think people need to change their mind.
HIV, AIDS, addiction, bullying, cyberbullying, all these other things our gay community or LGBT community is facing. Do you think we have the power to fight all of that together?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think we need to be more close to each other, and whatever, if it's femme or fat or ugly or old, everybody in this community are gay, and this is the first point we have the same sexuality.
Why does sex come first, do you think? Especially with gay men now, more so than lesbian women. But why do you think it's such an emphasis on sex?
I think the press and magazine put the stereotype of the gay man with the perfect body and the beautiful face.
Heavier women with, you know, that could be considered fat, they're not represented in society and magazines and on culture and TV until only recently. So it used to be women and now it's gay men. Do you think we're represented well in the media?
I have a lot of straight friends, and all my straight friends think the gay people are in that way, or they are too femme, or they are too cute. They never can imagine an old man like a Santa Claus can be gay too. Because for straight people, they only get that both sides, or really cute or drag queen, not a normal gay man. And I think this is the fault of the gay magazines and press.
And television.
And television with the gay people.
Yeah. How do you think we can change that? Through art?
Through art, and I think the TV shows can be changed in some ways and just show regular men as a gay man.
Lesbian, gay, transgendered, bisexual people. Do you think that our art is the closest we can get to God? It's the closest representation of who we are as a community? Do you think that's the best, that's the way out for us? That's the answer to save our community and bring us together?
Yes, because the Pope celebrates the Mass inside the Sistine Chapel, covered with naked men, painted by a gay man, it's like Michelangelo. And why they are against gay people if the Vatican was building for gay people, like Leonardo and all that gay artists.
What do you think would happen if our community took back all the art they'd given the world all these centuries? That if we took back the Sistine Chapel and we took back the Nutcracker Suite by Tchaikovsky and we took back all the books by Oscar Wilde, what would happen in the world?
The world would be empty.
Nobody would be wearing any fashion at the Oscars anyway. I can tell you that for
because most of the fashion stylists are gay too, but most homophobic wear that clothes too made by a gay people who they always hate, but they never think in this way.
Yeah,
they are wearing that nice clothes made by a gay person.
It's much harder to love than it is to hate. You know that?
Yeah.
It takes that. It is because you need to be brave to love.
Yeah.
It's easy to hate. We can all say horrible things about one another. And I wish the LGBT community would focus on love.
Nobody wants to tell you good things to put you up. Some people
want to drag you down.
It's easy to put you down. It's more easy than put you up.
But nobody can drag you down, Fernando, because there's nobody like you. Piss in the face of convention. I love it.
Yeah, this is my new book.
A life of paint, sex, and rock and roll. So this is a biography?
Yes.
And you're giving me a copy?
Yes, this is for you.
Thank you.
Have everything about my life and my sculptures and my works, starting in 1982 and finishing 2001.
We need a follow-up book.
With my art show at CBGB's.
At CBGB's. Thank you very much. I'm going to treasure it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.